Hey, what's going on, guys? So welcome back to another Python tutorial. So in this video we will be building a simple image downloader just using Python, and we will be using two modules. First, random, which we already talked about in our previous video, and then a new module called as Beautiful Soup 4, which is basically used to build web crawlers or web bots. So yeah, let's get started. First, we need to know how to install any package or any module in PyCharm. So it's pretty simple in PyCharm. All you need to do is go to File, go to Settings, and you can see right next to your project, whatever name of your project is, just right after that you have Project Interpreter. And then since I already have this Beautiful Soup installed and you won't have this, so what you can do, you can come over to this plus button over here, and then here you can type out the name of your package. So in this case, Beautiful Soup 4, and it should show up. And when you say this, you just hit install package and it should install it in a few seconds. Now first, I'm gonna write import, and we're gonna import first the random, which basically will generate random numbers so that we can name our image as some random numbers like 18 and stuff, 18, 204 and stuff. And then we're gonna import url lib dot request, okay, which is a part of Beautiful Soup 4, which enables us to deal with data from the internet. And then we're going to start off with our function def image downloader, okay, and then we're going to pass in here the URL, okay. And then what we're going to do, first up we need the number. So this number would be random dot rand range, and then from 100, from 1 to 500, okay. So it's going to take any number between 1 and 500. And then now let's name our image as, first we need to convert this into a string or else it won't work, since we will be concatenating it with .jpeg extension. So the reason we're adding this .jpeg, because if we do not add this, the data that we get, which is an image, won't be displayed as an image, okay. Now the thing that is left is url lib dot request dot url retrieve, and it takes in two parameters. First, the URL of the image, and then the name of the image. So our function is pretty much done. Now let's have this image URL from the user. So input, enter the URL, and now what we want to do first, so whenever we hit the URL and hit enter, it's basically will take us to our default browser and then open this URL in the browser, but we do not want that. So for that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna add an extra space whenever we enter the name of the URL. And then what we're gonna do, we want to cut off that space from this URL. So for this, what we're gonna do, right here, image URL, and then since we do not want any portion right after the space, so we can use this underscore, which basically is a variable which is pretty much useless, a garbage variable you can think of. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this image URL and we're going to split it. So whenever it sees a space, it's going to split it into two equal halves, and then the main part would get stored in the same image URL, and the space would get stored in this underscore. And now what we want to do, we want to dump this URL in the image downloader here as image URL, and let's add here string str so that it is a string. And now if we run this, first it's going to ask for the URL. So I have here a couple of images of birds open, so let's take this one and copy image location, and if I hit Control V, and if I add a space and hit enter, okay, I think we can't add here this, so image downloader. Okay, so we have here this random dot random, which should be rand range, and yeah, now it should work. So if we run this, let's control V, add a space and hit enter. So now you can see we have 227.jpg, which is this. Let's check again. Let's take this, copy image location, and yeah, let's come over to here. Let's run it again. URL, control V, add a space and hit enter. We have 82.jpg, and if we click, we can have this image. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new, and if you guys like the video, please make sure to like this video. And yeah, if you're a new viewer and if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, so thanks for watching.